Hello, welcome back to my channel, and it is a car vlog. Oh my gosh, someone's building a new house, and like everyone always stalks the house because it's always interesting to see houses being built and all that. But today I wanted to talk about true crime. So I am a true crime fanatic, a little bit incessant. I originally was going to school for forensic psychology. I didn't end up doing that, but that, I have been interested in that genre for quite a while. So I just want to talk about some of the true crime channels or /podcasts that I listen to on YouTube. And I am currently watching a live trial, and the trial is of Michael Barrisone, and he is a former Olympian in dressage, which is in the equestrian horses, and he shot his tenant/student twice in the chest. It's live on, it's not court TV, it's like Law and something. It's a New Jersey trial. It's very interesting. The defense attorney doesn't really seem to know what he's doing, but it's interesting. What else? I am listening to Stephanie Harlow. I love her, and right now she has a podcast that is also on YouTube called Crime Weekly with Derek Levasseur, and Derek Levasseur was on the show Breaking Homicide, if you watched that a while back. So they have a YouTube podcast together, and I love them. I love them. I love the dynamic. Stephanie's sort of this like researchy, has to have all of the background details, and what she does is she presents a case to him that he may or may not be familiar with, but he is a former cop and former officer and detective, and he's a current private detective. So he's really seeing it as she's laying it out and asking a lot of questions. So I just really love the dynamic of the whole thing. So that's something definitely you're going to want to check out. Right now, they do a lot of multi-parts. I'm finishing up part 6 of Scott and Lacey Peterson. And if you haven't seen that, it's an older case, but he is up for a new trial. So there's just a lot of details. I followed the case forever, but the way that they've done it, I've heard a lot more than I ever have. So that's really awesome. Let's see what else. The other channel that I recently started watching that I absolutely love is called 10 to Life. And the one thing about these true crime channels is, being a YouTuber, I know how like monetization is and can be, but for true crime specifically, they get demonetized all the time. And so their sponsorships and your views really mean something. So that's just like a sort of a little side note. What else true crime am I interested in? I'm going to be interested in, there's a few cases that are unfolding. A lot of these young kids and young babies that were missing a lot over sort of the pandemic, and now they're realizing, oh, no one's seen these children for years. Don't get me started on that, okay? But the Warren and Orson West, I'm going to be interested to follow that trial and see what's going on with that. I will link a bunch of different, sort of YouTubers and people who have covered these cases that I'm talking about. I think that it would be, better. I also love like vintage stuff. There's a lot of cold cases that are being solved through sort of that like forensic genealogy, and forensic genealogy is when they use different forensic techniques and sort of investigate genealogy trees, and with certain DNAs, and with these like DNA data banks and things like that, and they can kind of locate sort of where maybe even someone's family, like they may locate like a distant cousin, but they can like locate within a family. And they're doing a lot of cold cases where they're solving either whether it was like a Jane or John Doe, or like with the Golden State Killer. A place called Parabon Labs has facilitated in a lot of these sort of, you know, serial killers, serial rapists, you know, serial people from, you know, the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, where now, you know, there's testing that, you know, wasn't even conceivable then. So there is a bunch of people who are being caught by those types of methods, that being one. So there's a channel that I really love, and her name is Gabalicious, and she does true crime cases, but they're all vintage, so they're more than 20 years. And I just like the style. I sort of like the vintage case. I actually did some true crime on my channel, and I'll link some of those videos. They weren't the best. It was really early on in my channel. But I was focusing on the true crimes related to American Horror Story. Like, if you've ever watched American Horror Story, there's a lot of plot lines that are based on true crime, and you know, they weave it into the story. So I was picking apart a bunch of different true crime stories that were related to American Horror Story. So I can link those for you too. But I would like to know, what true crime cases are you watching right now? What true crime cases are you interested in? We are actually, my partner and I are watching that Hulu Something About Pam with Renee Zellweger. Now, it is a true story. It's a true crime case, and of Pam Hupp. And I think, like, if you're not familiar, you should get familiar with the actual case, because I really like it. There's Something About Pam, but it is definitely, like, it's a parody. You know, she's really ramping up the comedy part of it. Not comedy, but just like being over the top. Everybody's over the top in there. Yes, it's a true crime case, but like I said, if you want actual case details, watch a coverage of the case first. I can link that too. And then, you know, watch There's Something About Pam. So yeah, so that is what I am doing. Let me know what you are watching and what true crime you're interested in. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. If you have, thanks so much. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!